welcome, fellow Titans, to a little segment on my channel that I like to call character bios, or for the sake of the title, it'll just be character name with explored after it. In this first video, I will be showcasing the character of Anthem, who serves as the leader of City of Titans' premier supergroup, the Paragons. And now, as it stands, I think Anthem is the only one that I could find, at least, with a fully fleshed out origin that I could go off of and stretch into a couple of slides, as well as there's enough art of her where I could just squeeze into these slides so I'm not just reading right off of the panels. Anyways, let's get on to the character bio, shall we? Now, some basic information is her real name is Harriet E. Ross, alias being Anthem. She is a female with black hair and brown eyes, with an athletic and fit physique, and she also serves as the leader of the Paragons. Now, some not basic information, but her origin serves pretty much as Harriet E. Ross. It was a hard-as-nails Marine who was in the middle of teaching a hand-to-hand combat class when gunfire was overheard whilst in the middle of teaching this said class. Little did she know that it was actually the Paragons actually fighting against a villainous group called the Captains of Villainy. Now, little is known about what they were doing, but what is suspected is that they were trying to go after this Marine base's experimental artillery system. Now, when the Captains of Villainy stormed the entire base, they were armed with special gadgets that were armed to not kill, but mostly incapacitate. Incapacitate in the way of actually whoever was hit by them were immediately put to sleep. Now, as a way to stall the Paragons, the Captains of Villainy hired a sorceress by the name of Alakazam. Alakazam used her magics as a way to create magical traps and hazards for each Paragon member. So this served as the reason for why they couldn't exactly stop the Captains of Villainy while they were in the middle of their raid on this unnamed Marine base. And eventually, and as it says here at the bottom, it says that eventually the stormtroopers reached Harriet's classroom in which she was teaching her class. Now, as soon as they broke in, Harriet was immediately jumped right into action. She told all the new recruits that she was teaching at the time to lay low, and she would handle whatever situation was going on. And little did she see that a couple soldiers busted in, ready to take aim, but she immediately took them down and stole some of their rifles they had on them, and went off and left her classroom, asking to find any other of these soldiers that were trying to take over the base. Now, eventually she did stumble across the Paragons, who were still being held captive by Alakazam. Now, Alakazam had used her magics to make herself immune to the sleep effects of the gun Harriet had taken from the soldiers earlier. But this didn't matter at all, because before Alakazam could actually use a spell that would actually either kill or just incapacitate Harriet as well, she quickly knocked her out as well. Little details on how, but the end result was, was her actually breaking some small bones in her hand. Now, in a lot of artworks as you see here, she is depicted as having a golden arm. Now, I don't know if this is some form of prosthetic or this is just for show. Yeah, so I'm not sure if the damage she took was really severe, but a lot of the artwork does seem to show that she has this golden arm. Whether it serves any unique purpose or not is up to debate. Anyways, after being successful in saving the Paragons, the Captains of Villainy quickly surrendered after the Paragons are now free and they were able to fight back their forces. Now, it was at this same time Harriet also met the team leader of the Paragons at the time, who was American Star. And I bolded here, American Star is around 130 years old at this point in time of her origin, and he was using magical armor that was preserving his life. And American Star knew that his armor was not going to hold up for very long. Well, he was going to have to die eventually, and prior to this battle, was looking for somebody to take up his legacy and continue where he would be leaving off. And for a long time, he couldn't find anyone that would actually carry out these, to actually continue this, until he met Harriet. As I said before, Harriet's hard as nails nature and demeanor actually made her a perfect candidate for being or taking up this mantle. So American Star, after having a small talk with her, came up with the proposal that, would you like to be my successor? And of course, Harriet was a little skeptical towards this at first because, again, she's a Marine. They don't really actually detail what she is in the Marines. She just says that they just say that she's a part of them. But she never really thought of herself as a superhero. But, uh, but I imagine with enough persuasion, she eventually did accept the offer because, well, as you can see here, she's actually decked out in her own patriotic gear. Now, unlike most dynamic that you would expect with a mentor and a protege or apprentice, is that you would expect her to have been trained by, you would have expected her to be trained by American Star. But no, actually, as they highlighted here as well, Harry got brief sermons about how to work with people, how to treat people right, and why people deserve to be treated right. Now, of course, she never understood any of this because, well, when she accepted the offer, she was expecting to be trained and, be groomed into taking up this mantle, not be given these little prep talks about how to go about fighting bad guys and villainy. But American Star actually just reassured to her that you were able to handle yourself while fighting the captains of villainy. You were able to take down a sorceress, a magic user of all people, with no more than just, a couple hits here and there. So it's very evident, at least to American Star at the time, that no, not he, she, as in Harriet, could handle herself and didn't need any sort of training. Now, as Leon Bio states here, she never got the gist of any of this until American Star's eventual death in Hurricane Atlas, which is going to be a character bio or some sort of event bio that I'll probably do later in the future. But I won't go over too much. All you need to know about Hurricane Atlas is that Hurricane Atlas was caused by another supposed superhuman. I'll have to double check this information. But in the midst of all this, American Star died. So, as a result, Harriet, she now continues to hold American Star's values and his sense of morality close to her heart, and continues his legacy not as American Star herself, but underneath her own identity, that identity being Anthem. As now for powers and abilities. As it says, not a lot of information has been revealed whether Anthem possesses any level of superhuman powers or capabilities, but using her origin and artworks as reference, it's safe to assume skills and abilities include, but certainly are not limited to, her being an expert hand-to-hand combatant, considering that she was teaching a hand-to-hand combat class. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean she's an expert, but this does mean that she knows what she's doing. She has been in a couple scraps here and there, or else why would they hire her to teach, this class of recruits? She's a skilled markswoman, okay? Considering that she was able to take up a gun that this is not a typical firearm or rifle. This is some sort of high-tech gun that is able to put people to sleep once you're blasted with it. So I'm not going to say she's a master, but I am going to say she's skilled, only because she's able to take up this gun, which she had little knowledge of how it worked and if it had the same functionality as a common handgun or rifle. So in that, I call her a skilled marksman. A lot of artworks, I don't know if it showed up. I don't think I showed a lot here, but she actually does wield a sword. Now, her level of mastery with this said sword is up to debate, but considering that it was once owned by American Star, I imagine even after his death, Anthem perfected her skill in using this said sword, thus making her a probable master swordswoman. Again, this is totally up to debate. And finally, she is a master tactician, being able to rally. And I forgot to highlight that in the bio. She actually rallied together troops that also weren't hit with these sleep tech guns, and were able to get them together to actually help fight back against the captains of villainy. So not only was she able to rally together troops, but she also as said before, went in, saved the Paragons single-handedly, and took out a superhuman in the process as well. And in addition to this list of abilities, Anthem shows indomitable willpower when in the battlefield, giving her background in the Marines. She was able to not only hold her composure when her base became overrun with I'll just say the COV's forces, but she was able to rally together any straggling troops as well and take down Alakazam and free the Paragons from her captivity completely on her own. And by judging that she would later lead a new team Paragons years after, that tells that she must also be a skilled and proficient leader as well. And that's about it in regards of her character. That's all I have written so far. All right. Clearly, Anthem has a lot going for her. She actually does break the mold of a generic, typical Patriot-themed superhero. Most of which, not taking a crack at the icons like Captain America, but usually they are the results of some forms of super soldier projects or anything like that. Anthem, from what it seems, she's just completely using what ability she has natural to her. So, and I have to say, I really look forward to seeing this character and how she is to be handled and portrayed in City of Titans once the game goes live. But until then, I'd like to wish all those who have stumbled upon this video a good day. Thank you for actually sitting through and watching this. Pardon any background noise that you may hear here again, just starting off with all this whole thing. So, anyways, yeah. I'm going to try to find a way to get more content released out on my channel in the next couple of weeks or so, or maybe in the next couple of days, because I'm going to try to be making videos back to back. But yes, anyways, I wish you all a good day, fly free, and remember that in 2018, everyone to answer the call.